honest, I never knew I wanted to be a rugby player. I was a horse rider for a very long time, like for 8.5 to 9 years. I just missed being involved in a team sport. My dad always used to play rugby, so it was on the TV for the World Cup and Six Nations. And then when my sister was playing at the local club where my cousin already played, I decided to join her. And then, 10, 11 years fast forward, now I'm here. Yeah, I think obviously we are a small country and a small rugby country. It happens a lot that people are like, oh, is there rugby in the Netherlands, you know? We have grown so much, and especially also if you look at the men's game, like it's incredible to see. And obviously as a national team we went through quite a difficult time with funding and a lot of experienced players left. We actually didn't really develop players to fill that gap. So that's something that we worked on quite a lot. So we had the Colombia game at home was one of the biggest crowds we've had so far, and that's just so great to see. And like so many young girls, they can see that like, oh, it is possible, you know, like to play abroad, but also that we're trying to get to that high stage again. Difficult times hopefully don't always last, and I think as this season you can see that is true. Yeah. Hi, can I get a cappuccino, please?
Is that takeaway or not?
Takeaway. So yeah, we come here quite often on days off or like just before we have training or something. We go to the beach, have a coffee, and then relax for a bit before training starts. Yeah, we have like a lot of girls that are from abroad, so we don't really have friends and family here. So we hang out a lot together, like outside of training. Yes, thank you. What I like about here the most is that like I feel like I kind of found a home away from home. I definitely made friends that I can see that I'll have for the rest of my life. It does kind of remind me of home, and I'm personally quite a big fan of the beach. Some people always make jokes when they see my Instagram because I always post pictures or stories of me being on the beach. It's also very different because like in Netherlands rugby is very small, but here Chiefs is such a big thing. We train Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays with Chiefs, and then Wednesday, Fridays I'm with the architect. So it actually fits in quite nicely, and it's good to think about my future after rugby as well. Like, I mean, I am 29. I am going to retire eventually, like I don't know when that will be, but so it's really nice that like at Bailey Partnership they're very flexible. So if I need to go home for Netherlands or if I need to swap my days around because of training, they're very flexible with that, and that is so helpful to be able to like, well, fully work on things in rugby but also outside of it. So yeah, it's quite a good week balance. Well, so I was playing in France before, so I played for Stade Lausanne, and I played there with an English girl. So her name's Holly Meyer, she's actually a referee now, and she was like, they're setting up this really cool project in Exeter at Exeter Chiefs. You should email the head coach. So I emailed Susie and she just invited me for a short trial game that they played against Newcastle Falcons. And that's how I ended up just like flying over, playing a game with all these people that I actually didn't know. But now I loved it, and then I just decided like to stay and to sign for the first year. So yeah, I was also the first signing that Susie made, and yeah, I've been with Chiefs since basically the first day that we started. So it was pretty cool. I actually never went to Exeter before I even signed. So yeah, it was actually quite a crazy situation, but it just felt right. It was very, it was good, yeah. Oh yes. So the scrunchie, to be honest, it started actually when the first live streams that we had, they were just like streaming the whole field. And for some reason, even though I'm the tallest on the pitch, my mom struggled to recognize me. Obviously, wherever I can, I like to say I'm Dutch. I'm very proud of it, as you can tell. So I used to play with orange boots as well, but at the moment, I can't find orange boot with the right studs, so Nike or Adidas, you know, but so now it's just the orange scrunchie. I am from Akersloot, but basically grew up in Castricum, so I've always played rugby for the Castricumse Rugby Club. Pretty much played there the whole time until I moved to France, and then afterwards moved to Exeter. And still very involved with the club. If they're playing, I'll show my face and They still send me good luck messages for games. It's a very family club, and that's also what I really loved about it. There's lots of people from the club that I can thank for helping me come to this point. But I think the main people that supported me mainly off the pitch would have been my parents and my sisters. They've basically always been there for me, and if it was at home or away, they would be there to watch and support. Maybe not necessarily always rugby knowledge-wise, you know, but I think when you're younger, when you just started playing, you don't notice how important that is, and especially when you go through difficult times as a family, then like that support and how you stick together is so important, and made it possible for me to come back, because there was also a time that I wasn't sure if I was gonna go back to Exeter and I was gonna play for Netherlands again. So I think that support is also very important. So my older sister, Maaike, she was already playing at the time, so I kind of joined her. Maaike stopped playing, but then Inge joined my local club. We played together for a bit, and then that's when I moved abroad. So in 2019 was my first game against Hong Kong, actually as captain, but that's also when Inge made her debut. So since then she started playing for the Netherlands too. And then we found out that she was sick. Well, it wasn't good, and she wasn't probably gonna get any better, but we had no idea of like how the future would look like. January, when the treatment wasn't successful, and yeah, then it all went really fast. I think we played our first game with Netherlands the 10th of February at the top of my head. Inge passed away on the 23rd of January. Yeah, that was very difficult, especially for all of us, but also for the team. We were just getting started for our whole European campaign, and yeah, it's just not how it's supposed to be, you know. It was really good how I think as a team we were able to pull through, and that was also a time where most of the girls were really there for not just me but for the whole family, and I think that also showed like how good of a teammates we are, and like how good of a team we are, that you're capable of working through something like that and being there for each other. Yeah, we played Sweden at home for her. We won that first game, and so many people came down to support. When we won against Colombia, it's an amazing game, and you qualify, and it's great that the support is there. But also at the times when it's difficult, that the support is there is also very important, and maybe sometimes not said enough, like how helpful that was for us to all stick together and to push through. I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to keep playing, but yeah, at the time things just, I don't know, time just goes, but you're not really living it. I also knew like she wouldn't have wanted that. So I wanted to play the game, and that was more because I knew it was for her. I made the decision not to play the Spain away game just because I wasn't ready. And then after seeing the girls on the live stream, that also made me realize like, no, this is not what I want. I want to be there. You want to do things together. Like I always say to the girls, together we are strong. It doesn't matter at the end what happens, as long as we do things together. That makes difficult times easier, and also good times a lot better. That's when I thought like, I know for a fact that not going to Spain was the right decision for me at the time. Also the right decision to come back and yeah, hopefully work to WXV successful campaign and potentially a World Cup. WXV 3, for us it means honestly so much. Just qualifying for that, it shows all the hard work that we've put in for not just the last few months, weeks, like years, all came down to that. And we still have a very difficult path ahead to qualify for the World Cup, and we know that. But just being like on the international stage and being able to play against different countries as well, and seeing where we stand, I think there's so much more we can develop, and that is the really exciting bit, that there's so much more that we can do. Hopefully there's a World Cup, and if not, then like there's still going to be so much more after that. I think is the most important bit, that like we focus on what happens next. Like I said before, I'm 29, I'm going to retire at some point, but I want to leave, well, my shirt, but also leave Netherlands in a better place than when I arrived. As long as like we work hard, and then we just keep making progress and step forwards, and hopefully yeah, we end up at the World Cup, and like having our nice flag there and in the orange jerseys. Yeah, hopefully.
So I'll come